Well, yes, we're obviously back in court yesterday for the latest instalment of the PSNI PPS circus. Um, Yesterday was for an update on whether the PSNI have yet managed to hand over the documentation of the secret deals they made during the flag protests. Obviously, they're refusing to do this. It's going to be quite awkward for them because they will have to answer. Obviously, the Assistant Chief Constable, Will Kerr, who was foremost in the campaign against the Protestant people, will be called onto the stand to give account for his actions and indeed that the actions of the PSNI. Yesterday was once again laughable. The investigating officer brought herself to the court. She took to the stand to object to William Fraser appearing in a documentary. And this just goes to show the lengths that these people want to go to silence political dissent. This particular investigating officer requested the case files of myself and two other co-accused, specifically, that she wanted to deal with them. And I believe that perhaps this vested personal interest, which may be coloured by her own political background and viewpoints, has led to the desperation of the PSNI to keep these laughable charges going, which now amount to a little more than jaywalking. And to think of the money the PSNI have wasted, to think of the money wasted on legal aid, to charge me and others with jaywalking is absolutely laughable. The actions of the PSNI and this officer in particular, and those high up the chain obviously pulling her strings, is an abuse of lawful process, but it is also an attempt to suppress political dissent within the Protestant community. These people are no friends of loyalism, of Protestantism, or of unionism. We've seen the PSNI happily march alongside the Garter, who of course Judge Smithick found had colluded in the murder of RUC officers. We've seen them happily plodding along in New York behind the Irish tricolour, flag of a foreign nation. We also seen them plodding along behind England Get Out of Ireland, a Blitz Out banner. And we also seen them march behind an IRA banner in New York. So that should show you the disdain not only that the PSNI have for the RUC and those brave men who went before them. And we saw Alex Elliott on Spotlight the other night, and fair play to Alex Elliott for taking a stand and for speaking out, a former police officer. And his words was that justice has been surrendered to protect the peace process, and that he has no faith in the PSNI to uphold justice. Well, I would concur with Mr. Elliott's views, and obviously men such as himself are quite clearly disgusted by the PSNI and what they have become, because they are a political enforcement service more than anything else. And when you see the actions of the PSNI, it is no doubt, and there's no wonder why people now refer to them as the PSNI, because that's effectively what they are. And yesterday I was surprised to hear that Ivor Bell got bail, because it's quite clear that Ivor Bell has only been arrested so as to provide a test case for the Boston tapes, which will not be admissible in court, so as to protect the rest of the evidence which the PSNI have against Gerry Adams being used against them, because they will say it's not in the public interest. So it's about silencing political dissent, because Ivor Bell stepped forward to support a anti-agreement Republican candidate and became anti-Sinn Féin. But it's also about protecting Gerry Adams and others in senior positions in Sinn Féin IRA, who the Spotlight on Tuesday night quite clearly proved are immune from prosecution due to a secret deal with the British government, and also due to a lack of political will in the PSNI to charge anybody, because of course the PSNI's main aim is keeping Sinn Féin IRA happy, and that's become very clear. Now, Ivor Bell's bail conditions, I'm amazed, because I was charged with jaywalking, yet my conditions forced me to present myself to this farcical police force 7 times a week to lodge a surety. It also did not permit me to have a mobile phone, a SIM card, a computer, access to the internet or use of any phone whatsoever, actually including a landline. It did not allow me within 4 miles of Belfast City Hall. I was not allowed to address my peers or members of the public. I was not allowed to make any political statements. I was placed under house arrest between the hours of 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. and was regularly harassed and checked up on by the PSNI. Now, when you look at Ivor Bell's conditions, he has to come to the police 3 times a week, lodge 2 sureties and deeds, and let them know if he wishes to travel outside Northern Ireland. Now, of course, this man, who last week was a serious flight risk, now he just has to let them know if he wants to flee the country. Now, they've asked him to surrender his passport, but he just has to let them know if he wants to leave the country. So does he have to go to the police station and collect it a couple of hours before? And all this, the PSNI are aided and abetted by the PPS, who I have no doubt, in my mind, are influenced by an IRA placeman, Mr. Barry McGrory, who spent his entire legal career fighting the British state, and who, as a result of the surrender of policing and justice at Hillsborough, is now charged with making decisions on prosecutions in Northern Ireland. You know, it's absolutely laughable. But one thing's for sure, the likes of myself, the likes of William Fraser, the likes of the other hundreds, if not more, flag protesters and ordinary loyalists who have been the victim of this campaign of vilification by the PSNI and the PPS will not be broken. We will not be changing, and you can do whatever you want, and you can continue on with your vile acts of oppression against our people. We will not be changing our mind. We will be resisting this political process peacefully and by lawful means. And if you want to put us in jail for that, well, go ahead. Go ahead. Because history will judge us all, and I firmly believe